Donald Trump is allegedly, according to reports from behind the scenes, furious about the fact that people keep talking about his rapidly failing health, and in particular, his rapidly failing capacity to stay awake in public, literally at all. So he sees the Sleepy Don stuff going around. He sees people like Gavin Newsom constantly hitting him over it, and it's being talked about more and more on the media, and that's got to bother him even more. And he's apparently been raging to his allies about it. And the reports are saying he's complaining about this coverage more than he was complaining about the coverage of how implicated he was in the Epstein files, which is just worthy of stopping and thinking about for a few minutes. Like his inability to hide the fact that he was tied up with a notorious sexual predator bothers him less than the fact that grandpa go sleep during meeting. His priorities are all out of whack, but one of the sources said Trump will fixate on the offending news outlet or coverage for several days. He is sensitive to being compared, even if not explicitly, to Sleepy Joe. So let me just jump in to say, I'm explicitly comparing you to Sleepy Joe. You're worse than him, and I hope that ruins your weekend, especially if it's coming from a reporter he already hates. I don't know if he knows who I am. If he does, he definitely hates me. In the meantime, Caitlin Collins, would you please read that quote on the show? Ruin his goddamn weekend for me, please. But anyway, if he doesn't like the coverage that's already come about, he's not gonna like the fact that there's almost certainly gonna be future rounds of it because he's still falling asleep. Here he is apparently yesterday at a peace deal signing.
Rwanda, I know, will not be found wanting. I can assure you of that. President Trump introduced a new and effective dynamism that created the space for breakthroughs. His approach is even-handed. Never.
That dude's trolling him.
I know. Somebody should walk up and just put one of the floppy caps on his head. He'd be much more comfortable. But look, honestly, and that's not even the worst example from that. But I'm watching that, and I'm watching his eyes just slowly close. And some people in the lamestream media say that that's a sign of poor health, but that's not how I see it at all. When you look at his little anus eye holes, the fact that they naturally tighten shows virility and youth. You know, his eye holes are not just naturally gaping open. For an old man like that, I think that's actually pretty impressive. And I think that we should be complimenting him. Brett, what do you think?
I would have gone with pooples.
That's also good. Both are gross. Both are bad. Anyway, we're gonna talk more. First, though, I do want to jump to. I was told producer Ashley put together a great montage of Sleepy Don. Let's take a look at that.
You'll never see me sleeping in front of camera.
Somebody should just like pull up a nice blanket on him and talk quieter. Don't wake him up. He's finally getting some shut eye. I saw there was some Trump advisor, or it was like one of the right-wing commentators on CNN that they bring on, and they show him sleeping or whatever. And the guy does the stereotypical thing where he's like, what you need to understand is Donald Trump, nobody needs less sleep at night than him. Which, if you're like vigorous during the day and you want to brag about only getting 4 hours of sleep, that's fine. But when you're only getting 4 hours of sleep at night and tweeting all night and then falling asleep at every event you go to, that's not a sign of health. That's a sign of a broken sleep system. Dude needs to snooze a bit. He clearly isn't getting enough.
No. He doesn't need sleep during the night because he gets so much sleep visibly during press conferences.
During all the meetings.
It's like, it's almost as though an ancient sorcerer condemned him to a life where he's either talking or sleeping. And that's why he rambles on so much.
Mm-hmm.
Like that video of the dude from, I forget where it was, like, I forget, yeah. That first video is, the guy is trolling Trump. He's talking so slow. And that is the announcement that I'd like to make to the international community. We got him.
Yeah.
Invite him to stuff. Put your, Ben Stein, Bueller, Bueller speaker in front of him, because I don't think it's a sorcerer. It's just ego. It's sheer ego. If he's not talking, he doesn't give a crap.
Yeah.
And
Even if the
he
person's talking about him.
And he will then drift off into La La Land and then fall asleep. It's a perfect trap, and it obviously triggers him so much. So what we need to do, dignitaries of the world unite, just go out there and put on a snoozer speaker to like read anything but Trump's name, and he'll be out like a light.
I love the idea that behind the scenes, the diplomats would be like, let's see who can get him the best.
I'm like crying. That was so funny.
And you know, how has like Carolyn Leavitt or something not come up with, should they put like a shock collar on him? Like maybe a vibrating egg, like something they can trigger remotely just to give him a little jolt, you know, for his own sake? Or are they afraid that they can't even acknowledge it to him? Maybe he's so sensitive about it that they can't do it even to save him.
It's so perfect, because if cameras are someplace, he'll be there. But those cameras are catching him falling asleep.
Yeah, and he doesn't have to do all these big, like, you know, the round tables where everyone just compliments him while he sleeps. He chose to do that. Anyway, really fast, I just want to point out too, there's more of the weird mental slip ups. Like he mentioned in a speech going to Saudi Arabia 2 months ago. It was 7 months ago. That's a pretty big difference. You went to Saudi Arabia, that's a big trip, and you're off by 5 months. That seems a little bit strange. Now, I'm gonna tie this back to, we were talking about the economy. Like people aren't buying what he's selling. They aren't buying really anything because they can't afford it. He apparently now is going to plot a travel blitz to tout his economy. But that's just more opportunities for him to fall asleep in states all over America. And we know that he can't keep up the schedule. There was that study that he's done 39% fewer public appearances thus far into his second term than he did in the same period during his first term, because the dude just can't do the hours. I don't know, maybe they'll start doing noon rallies or something, but otherwise I don't think this is really gonna help.
If you enjoyed that, make sure that you never miss another video by subscribing. And if you want a little more, consider hitting the join button and becoming an actual member. But you're probably wondering, why the hell would I do that, John? First off, calm down. The stakes in this are very, very low. But also, when you click the join button and you become a member, you get access to bonus content that I make every week, and it's a ton of fun. You get access to tons of custom emojis and more besides that. By the way, if you join at tier 3, you even get access to a monthly member hangout with myself and other awesome people, and we always have a great time. By the way, you'll get all that going forward, but you also unlock years of the back catalog. That is literally 100 or more bonus clips, top 10 lists, debates, and more. What are you waiting for? Click the join button below. Your support powers our show, and we couldn't do it without you. Or at the very least, I wouldn't really want to try. Viewers like you keep me here. So thank you in advance for joining.